challenge is to get Gigi across the screen safely, and it'll give you a little noise if it does or it won't, if it does not. So we're going to hit continue. You can hit continue on your Nearpod to follow along, but I'm also going to do it on my screen as well, just in case anybody doesn't have access to the Nearpod. So I'm going to play a quick video. Okay, hopefully it will play. Oops. Can we hear it?
No, we can't, Ms.
Okay,
Jack.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Let me get it coming.
I'm sorry, what was the code again?
The code is T, capital TD, like touchdown, 8NU. It's at the top of my screen. Just kidding, I guess it's not.
No.
All right. All right, there we go. So it's at the top there, TD 8NU.
Thank you.
No problem. Alrighty. Let's get this. Okay. One more time. Okay, and that's how technology works. So I am going to give you what the video covers. So it's basically the same presentation that I'm going to go through here. You can always go back in your Nearpod later on and watch the video if you think you missed anything. But everything I'm going to talk about following that video is exactly what the video covered. So what makes ST Math special? We embark on a math journey with Gigi. He's our little mascot. So when your students log into the puzzle, and you're going to see this in a little bit, this is pretty much what the screen looks like. There's a little bit more information at the top, but it's all visual. It's all visual based and problem solving stage. So there's no directions for them to read. They really have to figure out what's happening. So the goal is to get Gigi across the screen by figuring out what the problems are asking. And this is a super simplified version of what the game is. But again, so they're going to click on that green button at the top, figure out how to get Gigi across. The game design is super simple, and then it builds. So they'll start out with something simple to try to get the students familiar with what the puzzle is asking them to solve, and then it will build on complexity as they continue to go. And this is the learning cycle that it's based off of. So the first thing that you want to ask your students is, what do you notice? What's happening on the screen? What can I click on? What can I not click on? And then if all else fails, click on the little green arrow to get Gigi moving to see what is going on. Ask them to predict. So what do you notice? Okay, what do you think is going to happen if you do manipulate something? Then we're going to analyze. So after you hit the green button, does Gigi get across the screen successfully, or is he, or did you get the error that says it's not correct? Okay. And then connect what you learned from the previous puzzles that were easy to the more complicated puzzles. So that's our learning process that we want to focus on while you guys are playing the game. So in your Nearpod, go ahead and click through the continue buttons. So if you followed along with me, you should be on the same screen on your Nearpod. But go ahead and click through on your Nearpod until you get to this screen. Okay. And I'm going to challenge you all to pick middle school, since we're in middle school and our students are in middle school. But you can pick whichever one if you want to play around, if you got other students at home. So click on a grade level. Again, in your Nearpod, through the Gigi, just keep clicking next and continue till you get to this screen. And once you click on middle school or whatever grade level, it's going to populate the game for you right here. So the game is going to allow you to play. Our learning cycle's to the left. So just to kind of give you a preview of what's happening, I'm going to click around, see what I notice. Okay. I have no idea what to do at this point. There aren't any directions, so I'm just going to move that up to 2 and hit the green button. Okay. Well, oh, it's adding to the 2 that I picked. Okay. So you're going to try to make sure you figure out how the puzzle is going. So sometimes you get it wrong the first time, sometimes you get it right. So go ahead. I'm going to give you all about, I don't know, 4 minutes to play through as many puzzles as you can. If they're too challenging or if you want to try something else, you can always click on try a different grade level and pick a different grade level. So again, you all are able to play this game. You can manipulate it. The goal is to get Gigi across the screen. If you have your students with you, they should be familiar with this. So you can also ask them to help you out. I see a question. Yes.
Oh, yes, mine is not working. Like it's
Is it-
thinking, Gigi's walking around a circle, and that's it.
Yeah, so sometimes it'll take a minute for Gigi to load. So you can let him load for a second.
It's been more than a minute.
Okay.
And I already go back, start again the Nearpod. Nothing happened. Still
Okay.
thinking.
Let me see if I'll pull up a link for you guys real quick and I'll put it in the chat so that way you can play it.
And that's another thing. I cannot see it, the chat.
Okay.
Ms. Jack, the chat is only open to presenters, you and the other teachers, not to the public.
Okay, thank you.
Surely.
Oops. Yeah, it looks like Gigi's going to be timed out. All right, so we can, if Gigi's timed out on your Nearpod, that's fine. So we can work on this together. So this is where you're going to unmute and you're going to help me. What do you think, or what do you notice that I'm trying to do here?
Gigi's facing to the right. She has to go to the right.
Yeah, he's got to go to the right somehow, right? And then it looks like I'm on conveyor belts. What else do we notice?
You need to move the conveyor belt to add up to 8 so that when it moves to the right from 3 plus 5, it gets to 8. It gives you 8 spaces, and then it's paired to the level at Gigi, where Gigi's at.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for that explanation. So I'm going to click this and drag it up to 8, and we'll try the green arrow. Perfect. Exactly how you just explained it. We're moving through the conveyors, and Gigi got across the screen. Okay, so what do you think here?
You have to multiply by 1. So you move it 1, so that it's 3 times 1 is 3, so that you pair it to the conveyor belt.
Perfect. All right, and I'm going to ask, how did you know that that's what you were supposed to do?
I did it already.
Awesome. Yeah. Overachiever. No. Right. So we're starting here at this orange conveyor, and we know that we have to multiply something by 3 to give us the 3. And so we know that 1 times 3 gives us 3. And Gigi goes. All right, same thing here. What should I set this to?
I think it was 1.
1.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. All right, division 3 divided by 3. Okay, a little bit more complicated. So as you can see, they're building in complexity. So now what?
You have to go to 9.
I think that I would move the line to the right up to 6.
Okay, so we think 6.
Yeah.
Do we have any other answers?
Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Mommy.
Hold on, wait.
Right. So it's kind of like thinking of order operations, right? It's whatever Gigi's on multiplied by 3 first. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then we're going to subtract 3. So 9 minus 3 gives us 6. Let's hope that we are thinking this correctly. And then he shrinks down. Awesome. Alrighty. So how about this one? Anybody have an answer?
That was 3.
So we're trying to get to 3. So we're going to pick 3.
Yeah, multiply by 3 and then subtract 3.
Perfect. Don't be afraid to give answers. All right, we'll try one more.
Stop
This
staring.
is fun. I like this.
Maybe
I
it could
love-
be
I love-
-3.
Oh, we think it's -3?
I think I cannot do it because I cannot access the new part, but oh no, this is another one.
Click on the plus, on the plus 4, right?
Sorry.
Do you do 4 on that one?
We do +4?
Mhm.
Okay. So you're thinking 4 plus 4. Oh, yeah. Okay, awesome. Gives us 8. Oh, man.
You do 2 on this one.
Divide. Okay. So again, so you see how it's kind of taking everything and molding it together. So we start at 12, but we need to get to 6. The only way to do that is divide by 2.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, there's 2 steps here.
This would be 6 divided by 2 and then plus 1.
Yeah, so it's 6 divided by 2 plus 1.
Okay. Divided by 2 plus 1. Awesome. Okay. One more. We'll stop here after this one. What do we think?
So on this one question, the first, like the input is, so you have to solve each one individually, like from top to bottom?
Okay, so you're on the right track. Yep, you're thinking that way.
Okay, so
So 1 times 4 plus 1 will give 5.
Okay, so 1 times 4 plus 1 will give us 5. Does that work for the 2?
And then minus 2. And minus 1.
Okay, so what do we think? We can only pick 2.
Oh.
So maybe we're going to create the next one in the table.
So a question, so this has, everything that you do from top to bottom has to apply to the same operation?
Yes.
It's not like individual operations, like you pick 2 for each row.
Right. So you want to figure out what's happening to our input that gives us our output.
So it would be multiplied by 3 and then add and then plus 2.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Awesome. So that's kind of the strategy behind this, right? We're trying to figure out input, output. Your students should know input, output, that if it's on a table, there should be a pattern that happens. Okay, what's happening to our input that gives us the output should be exactly the same all the way through. And as we figured out, if we multiply by 3 and then add 2, that should create the pattern all the way through that table. So it's going to show us every single one. Okay. Awesome. You guys are amazing. Okay. So thank you for that. Couple of things I want to talk about before I head over to GeoGebra with Mr. Ortiz. As you were playing or manipulating, well, I guess I was manipulating, but as you guys were helping me with ST Math, what were some things that you noticed?
It can be a little frustrating because there are no instructions. So you have to
Right.
figure out every single thing on your own.
Yep.
But it can be a lot of fun too. It was awesome.
Anyone else? I see, Veronica, did you have a question or input?
No, not for now.
Okay.
Like you don't have instructions. You have to figure it out what to do and what it's going on the next step. It's going to be the next steps.
Right. So that's the biggest thing, right? Is that the students do not have the instructions, and that's purposeful. It's so they have to actually manipulate with the math, think through it, and it activates a different part of their brain than if they were just to sit there and solve out equation after equation. It really makes them manipulate it, play around with it. It can be frustrating at first to try to figure out what is actually being asked to do. But as you see, the more you play around with it and kind of think, you get through it eventually, and they can always go back and watch GG if they get it wrong to figure out where they should go from there. So, thanks everyone for helping me out, helping me get GG across that screen. I'm going to go ahead and send this on over to Mr. Ortiz for GeoGebra.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I have the pleasure of introducing to you a great resource in GeoGebra. And one of the things just to talk about is a lot stronger than we let it be. And so typically students will come to us and they are always wanting